Okay, we're live.
All right, I'm going to give it just a minute here. We are down here at the Las Vegas courthouse, federal courthouse here in Las Vegas, Nevada. We just went to the status hearing. The status hearing include Tier 1, Cliven Bundy, Ammon Bundy, Ryan Bundy, Pete Santilli, Ryan Payne, and Eric Parker and Scott Drexler. The first thing is Ammon was not in the room. He was left in Pahrump and was not able to be here today. His lawyer states that the Bail Reform Act is supposed to be the least restrictive, and he does not believe that being strip searched, and this is from Ammon, 3 to 4 times to be at court or 2 times to visit his lawyer is adequate. And that's what he wanted put on the record for his defendant. So we have a September 19th calendar call, and the government is going to proceed with the retrial of Eric Parker and Scott Drexler. Marchese filed a 9th appeal and a stay. Myrie sees no jurisdiction for the stay of appeal to the 9th District. The retrial must be within 70 days, and the stay would not be counted in those 70 days. Then Scott Drexler and Eric Parker, they want to proceed with trial with Tier 1. All the lawyers agree, and they talk about the September 25th date. Then Ryan Payne's lawyer says that they would need to wait until October 9th because of a jury consultant. Ryan Payne then says that, okay, we're going to keep trying this. If it doesn't work out, I'll do it at a different location.
No, I think it's working now.
Okay, so the defendants, Scott Drexler and Eric Parker, want to go in with Tier 1, and just so that Tier 1 does not have to wait any longer. Many people are invoking their right to a speedy trial. Ryan Bundy invokes his right to a speedy trial. The judge, she wants to move forward with the trials. Trial starts October 10th, calendar call October 3rd. The government, he does not believe witness scheduling, looking at 30 witnesses and lots of motions go through on this case. He wants it moved to the following week and requests that the trial on the 16th because of the number of witnesses and the fact that there are 7 defendants. There's lots of jinx material to disclose here, and claims they have been good with the Brady and Giglio disclosures in the jinx disclosures. We all know this is not true. The Dan Love Giglio material does not list the employees. The names are redacted on that. They did not disclose the fact that the Longbow gentleman was arrested on the 16th. So as far as Myrie claiming that they've been good with the Brady and Giglio disclosures, that is complete bull. Ryan Bundy he states 3161 HC, no continuance shall be granted because of not giving due diligence on the prosecution side, and he objects to that. They've decided that the calendar call will be October 3rd, and the trial will start October 10th at 8:30 with jury selection. Trial beginning, they are guessing the next week. She also says she is not going to force Ammon to be in court. She said legally she can force him to adhere to the strip searching and all of that, but she will not do it. At that point, was it Ryan Payne or Ryan Bundy Ryan Payne said, "You are forcibly incarcerating him." She then says, "Strip searches, I've been told, are routine for every person, even people in wheelchairs." And he has already had the opportunity, his lawyer, to talk to his lawyer about this. They go into the list of motions. Any motions that have been approved or denied are still standing for the previous trial of Eric and Scott. Any other defendants that have different information can still weigh in on that. She did state, though, that her statement that the weight of the evidence doesn't justify continually detaining Scott does not go for all of the other people, because very little evidence in this last trial was brought against both Ryan Payne and Ryan Bundy, Pete Santilli, Ammon Bundy. She's saying there was not enough evidence brought against those people in the second trial that they would be able to release them per her statement and the way that they released Eric and Scott.
Doesn't that just seem backwards? I mean, that seemed really backwards to me.
It's very strange. So then Pete Santilli's lawyer said the defendants want to be kept in Pahrump. They don't want to move to Henderson, where they have limited ability to computers. They have limited ability to have a giant meeting with all the lawyers. So they are requesting that they stay in Pahrump. The judge says she is not the one forcing them to move to Henderson. They're going to have to work it out with the marshals, but it looks like they may be able to stay in Pahrump. The government estimates with only 5 defendants, 4 to 5 weeks, with 7 defendants, 6 to 7 weeks to present their case. They suggested doing a different timeline of how they would work days and go Monday through Friday, but they've decided that the 8:30, 4:30, Monday through Thursday is going to be there. They said this is also going to have lots of breaks in this trial because of holidays, Thanksgiving plans. The defense won't start to go forward until December 4th and this is a tentative date. They don't know what's really going to happen. We know in the first trial they only said 3 to 4 weeks. They went 6. So, well, this is all lightly written. Then they talked about a motion that was sent that said that they needed 60 days to provide certain Giglio material, not Jinx material, to provide 16A material no later than 30 days. A lot of them said 60 days. They argued back and forth on this and decided they would change that to 30 days and they could give the information as soon as possible. Ryan Bundy then gets up and says the plaintiff is not living and wants that addressed. The judge says that they are going to need a Ferretta canvas to see if he is competent to represent himself. Then he talks about a motion filed without his knowledge by his co-counsel, who is not supposed to be able to file anything without his knowledge. The judge says Judge Lean will have a hearing on that. It's a sealed exhibit, so she didn't want to talk about it in front of the prosecution. Marchese asked for a dark day on November 6th. The judge then says they're going to be dark the week of December 4th as well because the judge can't be here, and November 30th. Ryan Bundy gets up and quotes 18 U.S.C. 4001. No citizen shall be detained unless an act of Congress, and requests that he be given the act of Congress that they have been detained for a very long time and he and should be released prior to trial. He asks her if she will schedule a hearing on that so that he may argue that in court. I know that every time Ryan Bundy started to speak, she tried to shut him down. She is already discussing having a, what did I call it earlier? Let's see. Oh.
I think what Ryan Bundy.
To see if he, a Fietta canvas, to see if he's able to represent himself. What is happening here? She's very fearful of him. He's quoting things. She doesn't want to deal with this stuff in court. I've seen it many times where he was ready to speak. She went to Myrie first. She went to all the other lawyers first. She doesn't really want him. She said, you can talk about what we have or what we've been talking about, but you cannot bring up anything new. He said, I want to bring this up. He started to bring it up. She says, that's new. You're going to have to talk about that later. And they're already talking a Ferretta canvas. So I am hoping that what he's doing here is trying to fire the lawyer for filing something without his approval, and that he can get another standby counsel, because what we saw happen with Todd Engel is you fire your lawyer, that person is then appointed to be your standby counsel. They're mad because they have been fired by you. They are not going to provide you adequate defense, and so we're all hopeful that Ryan is able to exchange this lady for someone else and continue to represent himself. But as it stands right now, they're already trying to get a Ferretta canvas on him, and he hasn't even begun trial. So once again, we are down here. The trial will begin October 10th. The trial will be including Cliven Bundy, Ann Bundy, Ryan Bundy, Pete Santilli, Ryan Payne, Eric Parker, and Scott Drexler. They are all going to go forward with this. Eric Parker and Scott Drexler said, yes, go ahead and throw me in with Tier 1 because we don't want these guys to have to wait any longer. So as we stand here today, there is a calendar call on October 3rd at 9 a.m. Jury selection will start October 10th at 8:30 a.m. and there is already dark days scheduled. As we're looking at this case going all the way, it looks like it could go through the end of December. We're looking at having dark days through Halloween and Nevada Day. We're having dark days through Thanksgiving. We're having dark days through possibly Christmas as well. So here we're going to have another very lengthy trial ahead of us. And all of these guys will be in there. I know me and Eric came from Idaho because when they changed all this and put tier 1 in with the same status hearing, we wanted to be here so that we could have all the information and get all the information out as well. Did you have something you wanted to add?
Well, did you state a couple of the dark days that you mentioned?
Yes.
December 4th and 30th?
Yes, so we also have dark days November 30th per the judge, and the week of Marchese wanted November 6th. Also dark the whole week of December 4th, which is the first week that the defense is supposed to be starting. So already we've got a bunch of dark days on this calendar that we don't even have yet. We will have an official calendar after jury selection because they have to give the prospective jurors the calendar, and it also will probably change from then, be based on the jurors needing certain days with holidays, needing certain days with doctor visits and all of that. So like I said, we are going Tier 1 as well as Eric Parker and Scott Drexler. Once again, that is Cliven Bundy, Ammon Bundy, Ryan Bundy, Pete Santilli, Ryan Payne, Eric Parker, and Scott Drexler. And once again, they will have a calendar call.
Somebody's asking, what is dark days?
Dark days means a day that they will not have court. Calendar call October 3rd, jury selection starting October 10th. And then they also stated that the defense should be able to begin December 4th, but then the judge said that she needed that week dark as well. So defense will start possibly the second week of December. That's all I've got for everyone today. Looks like we're going forward with this, and hopefully we will get some more of these guys released. Maybe even prior, because it sounded like she was going to allow a detention hearing for Ryan Bundy. I mean, that's the way it sounded inside. I'm not sure, but that's how we're going forward.
Well, I think Ryan Payne really threw a roadblock up with that congressional act that if you have a citizen of the United States of America, they cannot be detained without a congressional act. That goes back to the Japanese-American detainment. It goes back to the Japanese-American detainment during World War II, when the President of the United States, Roosevelt, I believe it was, and the military detained the Japanese-American. And so after that, there's a congressional act that you could not detain an American citizen without a congressional act. And I think he threw a real roadblock in front of her right there. So it could be really interesting.
Absolutely. I definitely know that every time he was trying to speak, she was trying to shut him down. She didn't want him to be able to speak openly in court, right?
Openly, yeah. And it's amazing how smart you get when you have...
Speak up a little bit. Somebody's saying they can't hear you.
It's amazing how smart you get in prison when you're getting ready to spend the rest of your life in prison, and you got a lot of time to do some research. And I think what Ryan Bundy came up with in the Congressional Act is a major roadblock to what's going on right now.
Absolutely. Well, I think that's all we have for today. So we will see you October 3rd.
Gotcha.
Not able to be here today. His lawyer states that the Bail Reform Act is supposed to be the least restrictive, and he does not believe that being strip searched, and this is from Ammon, 3 to 4 times to be at court or 2 times to visit his lawyer is adequate. And that's what he wanted put on the record for his defendant. So we have a September 19th calendar call, and the government is going to proceed with the retrial of Eric Parker and Scott Drexler.
Okay, we're live.
All right, I'm going to give it just a minute here. We are down here at the Las Vegas courthouse, federal courthouse here in Las Vegas, Nevada. We just went to the status hearing. The status hearing include Tier 1, Cliven Bundy, Ammon Bundy, Ryan Bundy, Pete Santilli, Ryan Payne, and Eric Parker and Scott Drexler. The first thing is Ammon was not in the room. He was left at in Pahrump and was not. Marchese filed a 9th appeal and a stay. Myrie sees no jurisdiction for the stay of appeal to the 9th District. The retrial must be within 70 days, and the stay would not be counted in those 70 days. Then Scott Drexler and Eric Parker say they want to proceed with trial with Tier 1. All the lawyers agree, and they invoking their right to a speedy trial. Ryan Bundy invokes his right to a speedy trial. The judge, she wants to move forward with the trials. Trial starts October 10th, calendar call October 3rd. The government, he does not believe witness scheduling, looking at 30 witnesses and lots of motions go through on this case. He wants it moved to the following week and requests that the trial is on the 16th because of the number of witnesses and the fact that there are 7 defendants. There's lots of jinx material to disclose here. They talk about the September 25th date. Then Ryan Payne's lawyer says that they would need to wait until October 9th because of a jury consultant. Ryan Payne then says that, okay, we're going to keep trying this. If it doesn't work out, I'll do it at a different location.
No, I think it's working now.
Okay, so the defendants, Scott Drexler and Eric Parker, want to go in with Tier 1, and just so that Tier 1 does not have to wait any longer. Many people are